When you lose a job, especially one you poured your whole self into, it can feel like the ground disappears under you. But here's the truth: you haven't lost yourself. You're meeting a new version of you. Hi, I'm Dr. Erin Wheeler, a leadership coach and a cognitive psychology expert with a background in biology. I was a high achiever who ultimately burned out. I was doing all the right things, but felt emotionally and physically depleted. What helped me recover? A mix of science, sisterhood, and self awareness. If you're new here, welcome. This is a space where science meets real life, where we talk about well being, energy, identity, impact without the fluff. If you've ever wondered if it's possible to lead with power and protect your peace, I am here to tell you that it is, and we'll do it together. So go ahead right now, subscribe so you don't miss a thing. A few years ago, I lost my senior leadership role when a new president came in. But honestly, I wasn't devastated at all. I was tired, burned out. I told myself I'd rest for 6 months, maybe 9, but that rest turned into 2.5 years. That season tested everything I knew about my identity, about my faith, about my purpose, but it also rebuilt me. During that time, I learned so much that now helps me coach women through tough career and life transitions. So, here are the 3 priorities I set that helped me leverage that time for an even stronger, healthier comeback. And since I'm a nerd, I had to bring in the science behind why each one actually worked. My first priority was that I got well, mind, body, and spirit. Before I could figure out my next move, I had to take care of myself. Started sleeping, moving my body, eating real meals, spending time with people who filled me up. It sounds so simple, but when you've been in survival mode for years, rest does not come easy. Here's the insight behind why this works. When you've been running on stress, your body produces excess cortisol, the hormone that helps you power through in short bursts, but wreaks havoc when it lingers. Chronic cortisol blurs your focus, drains your memory, and even makes simple decisions feel overwhelming. So when I was trying to make career moves but couldn't think straight, it wasn't lack of motivation. My brain was exhausted. Rest, nourishment, and movement lower cortisol and help your brain reset. The first step to finding yourself isn't updating your resume. It's restoring your nervous system. Once your body calms down, your mind can finally think clearly again. Priority number 2, I focus on work that brought me joy. Once I started feeling better, I reconnected with what made me come alive. I wrote Go Wiser, my first book. I started a podcast and revived a college access camp in my rural hometown. Every creative project gave me energy again. It reminded me what I could do and who I really was. Now, here's why this matters. If you worked in a toxic place where your effort went unnoticed or constantly criticized, you start to feel like a failure at everything. Your confidence tanks. And low self efficacy, that belief in your own competence, can hurt your job search and interview performance. Research shows that self efficacy grows from small successes. Confidence isn't something you start with, it's something you build through mastery and experience. So every time I finish a chapter or release a podcast episode, it was proof to my brain that I could still create, lead, and grow. And yes, it also became new evidence that I could add to my resume and LinkedIn and talk about in interviews. The principle of self regulated learning adds another layer. When you set goals, act, and reflect, your brain builds a cycle of motivation and resilience. I was rebuilding my confidence from the inside out, one project at a time. Start small. Don't wait till you're ready. Take meaningful action now because confidence doesn't come before clarity, it comes because of it. And lastly, priority number 3, I got clarity. When I finally worked with a coach, I realized something big. I didn't even want to go back to a traditional higher ed role. I wanted freedom. I wanted impact. I wanted peace. I got clear on the kind of work I wanted to do, what I expected from an organization, and the kind of life I wanted to live while doing it. Why does this matter? Clarity strengthens cognitive control, your brain's ability to focus on what matters instead of reacting to fear or urgency like we do when we burn out. So, reflection, journaling, coaching help retrain your brain to prioritize meaning over panic. When you define what you want, your brain starts filtering opportunities that align, and peace replaces panic. If you're rebuilding after a career shakeup, here's a reminder: you don't have to rush. Start small, rest, reconnect with joy, and clarify what fits into your life, not just your resume. Because clarity and confidence don't come before the storm, they come through it. If this video spoke to you, I created something to help you go deeper. It's called the Thriving in Transition Experience. It's a 10-episode private podcast with real stories and coaching insights from myself, plus a digital reflection journal and a virtual gathering to help you rest, realign, and rebuild through change. You can join now at gracefullyproductive.com. And if you're looking for practical, research-backed strategies to conquer adulting and gain personal career success, grab my book, Live Wiser, at gracefullyproductive.com. Remember, you're not starting over, you're starting wiser. I'll see you in the next video.